Um, Good day, everyone. My group members and uh, my group consisting Miss Eliana Ramirez, Miss Nelsa Santiago, and Miss Prerna Shakdev, will be presenting on innovation in Belize Tropic Air. Tropic Air is one of Belize's most important aviation company. In this presentation, we'll be walking you through the company's background, the specific innovation they introduced, how successful it was, the challenges they faced, and finally, how Tropic Air can continue innovating in the future. Company overview. To start, let's look at Tropic Air as a company. So, Tropic Air was founded in 1979 with just one airplane and a very small team. Over the years, it grew into Belize's largest and most trusted domestic airline, transporting over 300,000 passengers annually. The company now offers flights to more than 15 destinations, not only within Belize, but also to several international cities in the region. So, Tropic Air is known mostly for three things: safety, reliability, and convenience. Because Belize relies heavily on tourism, having a dependable airline is extremely important. Tropic Air fills that gap by serving both the tourists and the local travelers who need quick access to different parts of the country. The airline is also a major contributor to our national economy. They create jobs, they support tourism, they make it easier for people to travel for business, health, and personal reasons. Tropic Air is truly a backbone for Belize's transportation network, and that is why the innovation we're discussing today, have such a significant impact. Now that we understand who the company is, we will now move on to the actual innovation that made a difference. Product innovation. Re- Regional route expansion. The innovation we will focus on today is Tropic Air's introduction of their new international routes, specifically their expansion to places like Flores in Guatemala, Cancun in Mexico, and Roatan in Honduras. This was a major product innovation for the company because it changed Tropic Air from being mostly a domestic airline to becoming a regional carrier. This shift helped Belize connect more easily with its neighboring countries, something that is extremely helpful for both tourism and business. For example, the flight to Flores opened the door for passengers to access the world famous Tikal ruins. The route to Cancun created a smoother travel link between Belize and one of the biggest tourism hubs in the region, and the Rotoran route connected two major Caribbean tourism destinations that previously didn't have that fast and easy travel between them. So this innovation made travel more convenient, faster, and more appealing for tourists who wanted multi-destination vacation. It also benefited Belizeans who needed to travel for shopping, medical reasons, work, or simply just for leisure. So overall, Tropics Air regional route expansion was a strategic move that positioned the company and Belize as more connected, more accessible, and more competitive within the region. Why why it succeeded? So the innovation succeeded because Tropic Air's regional route expansion worked well for several reasons. First, it met a real demand in the market. Travelers, especially tourists, were more moving between Belize, Guatemala, Mexico, and Honduras. But before Tropic Air stepped in, the routes were inconvenient, long, and sometimes expensive. Tropic Air basically solved that problem by providing quick, direct flights. Second, the itself was good. The flights were reliable, the aircraft were safe, the customer experience remained consistent with what passengers already loved about Tropic Air. People appreciated the punctuality, the friendly staff, and the short travel times, and Tropic Air delivered that. Third, people genuinely liked the service. Tourists found it easier to plan multi-country vacations, and Belizeans enjoyed faster access to destinations they regularly visit. The feedback online and through the tourism partners was mostly positive, and the convenience factor alone helped strengthen the route's popularity. Finally, Tropic Air marketed the expansion fairly well. They used social media, tourism partnerships, travel agency to spread the word. They didn't have a massive marketing budget, but they levered their strong brand reputation in Belize. Overall, the innovation succeeded because it solved real problems, the service quality was strong, customers liked it, and the marketing, while it was not huge or big, it was effective enough to reach the right audience. Was it a good product? From a product perspective, yes. The innovation was strong. It solved a real problem. People wanted reliable regional travel options that didn't require border hustle or long driving hours. The flight, they added genuine value. They expanded travel choices. They supported Belize's tourism partnership and ensured consistent safety and service standards. These innovation also helped raise Belize's visibility globally by connecting the country more directly to a popular destination.
Okay, did people like it? Customer feedback shows that these routes were well received. Tourists appreciated the convenience and the time saved. Many described the flights as comfortable, smooth, and stress free compared to the crossing borders by road. Reviews often highlight that passengers prefer direct routes and that they felt safe and well taken care of. So, overall, the public response was strongly positive. Okay, was it well marketed? Tropic Air's marketing efforts were effective in many ways. They promoted new routes through Belize's tourism channels, used social media consistently, and partnered with hotels, resorts, and travel agencies. They also used target tourist marketing and they maintained good visibility online. This ensured that both locals and visitors knew about the new services. So, the challenges. Even with success, Tropic Air faced several challenges. These included high fuel and operating costs, weather conditions that caused delays, small aircraft that limit seating, some routes that didn't generate enough passengers, competition from other airlines, and lastly, seasonal fluctuations tied to the tourism industry. These challenges sometimes forced the airline to adjust their schedules or suspend routes that were no longer financially sustainable. Was it a bad product? The innovation itself was not bad. The difficulty came from the business side, not the product side. Some routes had inconsistent demand, and small aircraft mean operating costs and stay high regardless of the number of passengers. So the issue wasn't that the service was poorly designed, it was that it was hard to scale profitably. Was it too expensive? Pricing was another factor that many people did consider. Compared to bus travel, yes, the airfare will naturally cost more. Fuel prices, maintenance, international taxes, and small seating capacity, and all affect ticket prices. Tourists generally found the fares reasonable, but for some locals, prices were harder to manage, especially during peak seasons. So while the service wasn't overpriced for what it offered, it wasn't the most accessible option for every budget.
Was it poorly marketed? The marketing was overall solid, but there were areas where the company could have improved. For example, Spanish language promotions were limited, even though regional roads served Spanish speaking destinations. Off season promotions weren't very strong, and there were very few campaigns focused specifically on locals or students. So, although marketing wasn't a weakness, there were definitely space for more targeted outreach or on marketing. So, the future innovation. Looking ahead, Tropic Air has several opportunities to continue innovating. Some possible areas include introducing eco friendly aircraft for lower fuel use and greener options, expanding to new destinations, improving their mobile app to offer more features, creating a loyalty on or reward programs, providing real-time flights notifications, deepening their partnership with hotels, tour operators, and businesses, and expanding charters and cargo services. These steps will help the airline competitive and aligned with the modern travel expectations. So more of, in terms of priorities, the airline could benefit from more of the following: regional expansion, technology and digital improvements, promotions and customer deals, strengthen tourism partnerships, investment in safety and aircraft upgrades, and more community involvement, and less of the following: manual process like paper tickets, sudden cancellations of communication gaps, seasonally only road offerings, environmental inefficiency, and over-reliance of tourist of tourist seasons. Balancing this will help the company create and be more sustainable and in a responsive operation.
Okay, now to conclude our presentation, Tropic Air's innovations have had a meaningful impact on Belize's travel landscape. Their expanded routes improved access across the region. It also supported tourism and created more flexibility for travelers. Their focus on safety, convenience, and service continues to make them a key player in the country's aviation sector. Now, while they wait or face challenges, especially around operating costs and seasonal demand, ongoing innovation will definitely be essential for maintaining growth and relevance. Now, overall, Tropic Air is a strong example of how strategic innovation can support both business success and national development. So, now moving on to the next slide. These are the references used in our presentation, included Tropic Air's official website, Belize tourism reports, and the Belizean news sources, which are all formatted in AP style.
Now that we have gone through the key points of the presentation, I like to finish with a few simple questions just to check the understanding. Sir, these were our question. I know you said just to keep it on the screen and then um we won't have any participation, but we just wanted to see the questions.